I've been getting numerous messages asking about low histamine protein powders, mainly which ones to try, but also about formulating plant-based low histamine meals. So this video is about which protein powders are low histamine and the pros and cons of each one. I'll include a cost comparison in the video description.
Hi, this is Max from lowhistamineeats.com, where we make and share histamine-friendly recipes.
Needing to find low histamine options makes the grocery store even harder to navigate, but not impossible. Protein powders made from low histamine foods will remain low in histamine because the temperatures aren't warm enough during processing to harbor histamine-producing bacteria. But while we'll touch on a couple of animal-derived protein powders, the bulk of this video focuses on plant-based proteins you can add to your next smoothie or tomorrow's breakfast bowl. You can indeed consume all 9 of the essential amino acids by complementing your diet with a low histamine protein powder in daily meals. But first, a quick disclaimer. As with everything else on this channel, this video is provided for information only. I strongly urge you to speak with a licensed medical professional in order to assess whether or not you have histamine issues. Every body is different, and some people will tolerate different foods than you do. Please keep the comments respectful. To be effective, a protein powder must have all 9 amino acids to provide you with complete proteins. The 9 amino acids are tryptophan, threonine, isoleucine, leucine, lysine methionine, phenylalanine, valine, and histidine, which turns into histamine. Your body uses amino acids to produce the proteins in your muscles, skin, hair, organs, and all other tissues. Consuming sufficient amino acids in the form of a protein powder can help you prevent diseases and properly digest nutrients. Prolonged amino acid deficiency results in decreased immunity, digestive problems, depression, fertility issues, and decreased alertness. So let's get to the powders. The main protein powders okay for histamine intolerance include plant-based proteins such as hemp, rice, sunflower seed, pumpkin seed, and spirulina, although some people can also tolerate collagen and whey proteins. However, I won't be addressing spirulina, collagen, or whey proteins in this video because even though they're not directly high in histamine, they can cause issues for some people. So let's look a little closer at the basics of protein powders. Even though protein powders are generally healthy, there are a few ingredients you should avoid, as they may cause a range of symptoms and exacerbate any of your existing ones. Strange chemicals, artificial and natural flavorings, and any type of sugar should always be avoided. You're here for the protein after all. So always read the label or product description before purchasing a protein powder, making sure it also doesn't include high histamine or otherwise inflammatory ingredients, such as sugar. There are only 4 consistently low histamine, non-inflammatory protein powders I've found: hemp, rice, sunflower seed, and pumpkin seed. Neither of the first 2 tastes great, but all are very high in protein. Here's a basic overview of each one. Hemp protein is considered a complete protein, as it includes all 9 amino acids that your body needs but cannot produce on its own. That's what makes them essential. It comes from the ground seeds of the plant species Cannabis sativa, which is related to but not the same as the plants from which marijuana is harvested. Throughout the centuries, hemp has been grown for fabric, food, medicine, and even lamp oil. It contains roughly 12 grams of protein per serving, meaning that it's just under half protein. It contains notable amounts of iron, magnesium, manganese, and potassium, though some studies have found that hemp protein is lower in the amino acid lysine, which will be a consistent theme as all 4 of these plant proteins are relatively lower in the amino acid lysine, which can be found abundantly in lentils and pistachios, among other foods. But please note that if you consume large amounts of hemp protein powder, the influx of fiber may cause gas, diarrhea, and bloating, as well as making meals notably more filling. To me, hemp protein is also gritty and rather unpalatable, with a very earthy, grassy, and kind of musty nuttiness. Pumpkin seed protein is also considered a complete protein, as it includes all 9 amino acids. However, it's known to be lower in the amino acid lysine, so it should never be relied upon as your sole source of protein. The crude powder comes directly from pressing and grinding the seeds of the common pumpkin, sometimes thought to be high histamine, though their seeds are usually well tolerated. It contains 20 grams of protein per serving, meaning that it's roughly 2/3 protein by weight. Side benefits of opting for pumpkin seed protein include the vitamins and minerals it contains, such as magnesium, zinc, and iron. And unlike hemp, pumpkin seed protein contains much less fiber per gram and so fits more smoothly into drinks. The only brand I've tried, Sprout Living, tastes sweet and nutty, almost exactly like unroasted pumpkin seeds, with some bitterness. Rice protein is extracted from the very same rice we cook to pair with our meals. Rice grains are native to Southeast Asia, and in recent years, scientists have been trying to understand the cholesterol stabilizing and triglyceride lowering effects of rice protein. You get roughly 25 grams of protein per 30 gram serving, but much like these other proteins, rice protein offers less of the amino acid lysine, so much so that it's not widely considered a complete protein. All rice proteins contain large amounts of vitamin C and iron, but rice protein that's sprouted from whole grain brown rice will also have folate, fiber, and other amino acids. However, an important consideration with rice is potentially toxic arsenic levels. Rice protein is chronically exposed to arsenic, which is a toxic trace element in the environment. However, with the amount of rice consumed in the Western diet, arsenic is only a concern to the most sensitive populations. Talk to your doctor if you feel like you fall into this category. For me, the main issue with rice protein is the taste, because it tastes pretty much like chalk and is quite sludgy. Like most all other seed proteins, sunflower seed protein is considered a complete protein as it includes all 9 amino acids. It actually comes from the ground seeds of the very same sunflowers that tower over people every summer, at least in the southern USA. Recently, it's also been becoming better recognized as a quality source of calcium, selenium, and the powerful antioxidant vitamin E. Similar to hemp, sunflower seed protein powder contains about 15 grams of protein per serving, so it's just over half protein. Much like these other protein powders, it's lower in the amino acid lysine, and like pumpkin seed protein, sunflower seed is still pretty balanced in fiber at just 2 grams per serving. The only brand I've tried, Sprout Living, tastes sweet and very mildly nutty, almost exactly like sunflower seeds, with almost no bitterness. Finally, 2 of the most potentially inflammatory protein powders for histamine intolerance are bone broth protein and egg white protein powders, both of which are increasingly common on the market. This is because bone broth has very high histamine levels due to the long heating process, and egg whites are incredibly high in the protein ovalbumin, which is widely used to sensitize immune reactions. This is the most likely reason why egg whites are sometimes thought to be a histamine liberator, though most people do fine with whole cooked eggs. If you have any questions about low histamine protein powders, please drop them in the comments,